Is also
And
gonna post on my personal about us going live.
we are live, I think. There we
Oh,
go.
are we?
So, if anyone is joining, this is a little impromptu unwrapping Laravel Wrapped is what we're calling it. So, behind the scenes of Laravel Wrapped, we have Leah joining us today. Hi, Leah. How are you doing? How are you doing this Christmas season?
I'm
This
amazing.
holiday
I
season, I should say.
feel like we look like elves right now. We're like little elves. I feel great because we shipped Wrapped. We're good. It's live. People are excited about it. I'm excited about it. More excited now that it's live.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, if you are in the chat, first, let us know that you are here, that you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from. And then what's a good icebreaker question? Usually I like to say like what's your like favorite drink at this time of the day, wherever it is for you. But like what's something like very wrapped or Christmassy, Leo? Like or holiday season-esque, Santa-esque, elf-esque, like maybe favorite holiday dessert?
I think that this would be if they're a coffee drinker, but like what's your favorite I guess it could be what's your favorite seasonal drink?
Okay, that's
Because that
cool.
could be hot chocolate too. Like say you
Yeah,
like
a little
peppermint hot
could be
chocolate.
some eggnog.
Mm-hmm. Or even apple
Um,
cider. That's still Christmassy, right? I know that's
yeah,
fall, but
exactly. Vad, all the way from Angola. Glad to see you here. Thanks so much. Yeah, so I guess if you are in the chat or just joining, I mean, we're probably not going to jump into everything until more people join because it's a little bit of an impromptu live stream. But yeah, what we're doing is I'm chatting with Leah about everything Laravel Wrapped. So if you're in the chat, let us know that you're here, where you're from, and then Leah said favorite holiday drink. So eggnog, hot cocoa, pumpkin spice latte.
the gingerbread one, any of the peppermint stuff. Also, if there's like,
I don't like peppermint.
watch,
I'm not
I
a
love
peppermint person.
peppermint.
I can't do peppermint. I don't really like eggnog either, though. I'm not like a holiday drink person, honestly.
Wow, I go crazy for them. Like the gingerbread ones, I love.
Okay.
I love peppermint, like everything peppermint.
Yeah.
Caramel brulee is so good. Caramel brulee might be my
Caramel
top.
brulee. Okay. See, so does like caramel brulee taste like a creme brulee? Like, is that? I've never
I don't
had.
really eat creme brulee, so
It's a little too fancy. It always sounds fancy, but like I've had people make them like going over to their house, and it's actually not that hard from what I've seen. I mean, I don't bake, so I don't know for sure, but
you have to do like a water bath, I think, or ice bath, whatever they call it. So like you make the tart and you do everything, but when you put it in the oven, you have to have it like sit within a bigger pan that has water in it
okay,
to allow it not to like crack while it's baking.
yeah,
I think that's for creme brulee. I know it's for other ones. And then you have to torch the sugar on top
that makes
to
sense.
get that like crispy finish. So when I think of stuff like that, I'm like, I'm not baking it.
the little extra effort kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hello from Iran from LinkedIn. Glad to have you here. It's not showing us like your specific name because sometimes it doesn't. I think if like you're you are on LinkedIn sometimes. But yeah, so we are going to be talking through kind of like behind the scenes of what happened. First off, if you don't know, and again, for those just joining, we're only like 5 minutes into this. So like, I bet there's going to be a bunch of people joining soon. But for those just joining, where are you from? Let us know you're here. And then also favorite holiday drink, eggnog, pumpkin spice latte, peppermint, caramel brulee,
Gingerbread, any of the seasonal flavors, any
it could be
seasonal
adult drink too, I guess, like eggnog with a lot of whatever you put in it. I don't actually know what you put in eggnog.
I think normally it's rum.
Okay.
But you could put like whiskey and stuff, but rum I think is more traditional.
There you go. George, hello from Nigeria. Glad to have you here. Thanks for joining us. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to post on my personal account, make sure people know that we are that we are live. So I'm going to copy this, be like live right now. Perfect. Hello from Rockledge, Florida. Anything with alcohol, says Donald. Well, there you go. That's the best way to enjoy the holidays, right? Fantastic. Southern Comfort and eggnog. See, that sounds right. Like I've never had it because I'm not an eggnog type person, but that sounds about right. Vad gingerbread for me. Although I'm the anything goes kind of guy. Okay, I like it. I like it. There you go. Halal drinks. Okay, perfect. Is there like a specific halal drink though? Yeah, everyone just joining. We are my name is Josh, and I have Leah with us today. Leah, who are you and what do you do? Tell us. Let's do a little intro. You've been on the channel a couple of times, but
yeah. So hold on, I'll try to wait. Maybe my camera will come back.
Camera froze real quick. Oh, there
we can just go with this one. We'll switch cameras.
It's a good little view.
Yeah. So my name is Leah Thompson. I work as a DevRel engineer on the DevRel team at Laravel. And I work on building out a lot of the marketing sites too, such as Laravel Wrapped that went live today. And besides that, you might have seen me on Twitter, Twitch, Blue Sky, like anywhere on social media as Leah T Codes, where I yap a lot and post projects, post pictures of my coffee.
There you go.
Anything?
Well, not the coffee, but then I also feel like you do a lot of white monsters
as
well.
That I'm holding right now. Yeah.
I actually just got a case of the it's the Zero Monster, the blue one, like the blue.
Those are good.
I think it's a guava one or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good. I like that. But yeah, everyone just joining in the chat. A little impromptu Laravel live, not really Laravel live, but a little impromptu live on the Laravel channel about Laravel Wrapped. And basically, we're going to be talking through Laravel Wrapped is here. If you didn't get an email, maybe you will get one soon. But everyone who deployed something on Cloud, Forge, or Nightwatch this year got a email about their stats from this whole year. And so that was something that Leah and myself and the rest of our team got put together. And it's the first time we've ever done it here at Laravel. So we're calling it Laravel Wrapped 2025. But if you are just joining us, let us know who you are. Say what's up in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from, and then your favorite holiday drink. Luis from Peru, glad to have you here. Thanks so much for joining.
Welcome.
All right. So, Leah, Nuno, glad to have you here. The site looks so good. So maybe talk about that, Leah. Like, what was the Nuno says beer is favorite holiday drink. There is like some good seasonal beers, I will say. Like, I don't know if you're a beer drinker, Leah, but there's some good ones. Like
IPAs and stuff, right? Don't they do seasonal ones?
They do some like pumpkin ones if you're into that, but then there's like around like Oktoberfest and that kind of thing. And then there's some more like spiced, I don't know, like darker beers kind of thing. So yeah, it is fun. But Leah, let's talk about one, why Laravel Wrapped? Why do you think, how do you think how did this come to be? And then what is even Laravel Wrapped? Can you tell me that?
Oh man, like why did we think of the idea of doing that?
I'm curious from your perspective, because I think like this was something that the whole team itself were like, hey, I think this would be a really cool idea. And it would be awesome to be able to show all of these stats. And then why do you think, like, from your perspective, it's, I don't know, important or fun, or what was your thought process going into it?
My thought process going into it at first was, oh man, we're building this out. Especially like,
it seems like a big task when you think about it, right?
Yeah. And it was like something we wanted to do from like October, but then like got busy with everything else. So then we hit like end of November and we're like, hey, we have to build this out. And then trying to think of ideas. So the original thinking is like, we know Spotify does Wrapped. It's always really fun to see your data and like see the
Yep.
different trends and things. So we were like, why don't we do that for Laravel?
Yeah.
Because we thought it could be fun. And then we had an idea for it, but even like I'd say 2 or 3 weeks ago, we started like thinking of more ideas of more things we could do to make it fun. And that was like fun to do. We were going looking at other people's wraps and like what is something customizable they did, what made it fun, like getting to bring in like quirky and zany stuff into this project was fun because a lot of times it's just like I'm building out stuff like the Forge marketing site and that you're not trying to be like quirky, you're just trying to
Yeah.
like give info about the product. So that was a unique part of this project and getting to do like the big SVG stickers and play around with different stuff like drag and drop, how we have that in the customize your OG section. And I guess like after we brainstormed, it was thinking like, okay, what is actually doable within our timeline and like what is the most important elements we felt like
Yeah.
for this to make this fun.
Yeah, I think like you kind of touched on it. I think like it seems like a big project, but then like as we got into it, there was like kind of two things that I think we wanted to make sure happen. One, that it was fun, and so that's like where your like the quirkiness of like the site actually like, came into play. But then two, it's like that you still want it to be not you still want it to be like accurate too. Like I feel like data is a huge thing. So it's like data, but then also fun at the same time. So how can you display data in a fun way? Why don't we take a look at this site? I want you to like talk me through some like maybe we'll go through maybe like one of your favorite things about the site, and then maybe like thing that it doesn't seem that tricky, but it was a lot trickier than you think it was, like from a technical standpoint, or even just from like a design implementation standpoint. For those who are just joining, glad to have you here. Let us know where you're joining from, and then let us know you're here first, where you're joining from, and then what's your favorite holiday drink. But we're talking about all about Laravel Wrapped. I just dropped it in the chat. It's wrapped.laravel.com if you hadn't seen it. But if you deployed at all this year on Forge, Cloud, or Nightwatch, you should receive an email with your personalized Laravel Wrapped link. And there's some fun little stuff on that site for you. But McGill, hey, from Guatemala. Glad to have you here. Let me go ahead. I'll go ahead and share my
And it's probably worth
page.
already saying too that we build it out using React, Inertia.js, Laravel, and Tailwind. So the front end was React and Inertia.js.
Oh yeah, good point. So front end, let me pull this up. Front end React, Inertia.js, Tailwind. So this is landing page. Like first off, like this is crazy.
Big and bold.
Second off, like what do you think? Like, is the stickers like fun? I guess like a question is like, why the stickers? Why do you think stickers? Why?
So like in my Laracon talks, like my Laracon US talk and the Laracon Australia talk, I talked about like 5 steps you can use to build UIs that your users can connect to. And one of the last steps, or I think it's step 4, is like bringing in some like kind of a weird, quirky, fun element. And the stickers are definitely that for this site. I feel like, especially for the homepage, it's like we do have the different colors, like the colors for like the headings and then the paragraphs or spans in the sections too. So that kind of contrast is fun too. But the stickers are really what like takes it to that next level and makes it stand out. It makes you want to share it more because it's fun. We want to bring fun elements into the site.
Absolutely. And I guess like a good it reminds me of like the two things that really make any good wrapped good, like as we were thinking through like this process of okay, what makes us unique, but then also what represents Laravel in a good way too. I think the stickers kind of show it off because we had a lot of these stickers at all the different Laracons, but I think most of them were kind of introduced at Laracon US, specifically like I think actually Laracon EU was the Coke 01. I can't remember. But there's just so many that like you just see this, and even if you didn't read like any of the words right here or the top left, you immediately know like this is Laravel. Like that's what it feels like to me.
And it ties like more of our community in because like the Lambo, we did like little merch stuff with like the toy Lambo this year. It just brings in elements like from the community, like how we're always saying we must ship and stuff like that. It's bringing those into
Yeah.
the site, so it's not just like, hey, this is a polished like product page. It's like, no, we're trying to bring in elements of the community, elements like from this year, from things like we shipped this year, we did this year. And then if you scroll down to the footer, Jeremy also brought in that really cool laptop animation
That's
with
so
like
cool,
more of
right?
the stickers. And we have the facade license plate on the laptop down at the bottom for Taylor's license plate for the Lambo. Just
Man.
cool little things that like if you're in the community, you'd see it and you would get the reference.
Yeah. It looks automatically cool, but like if you've seen the community or kind of been around, like it's cool to
Mhm.
know you kind of get that inside scoop as well at the same time. Yeah, so just some shout outs for people, a whole bunch of the Laravel team who helped put this together, but specifically Jeremy from the Nightwatch team helped build most of this main landing page as well as design all of it. Pretty
Design,
much.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Tilly from the Laravel team helped design everything. And then
Mhm.
Leah implemented pretty much everything. And I feel like I was like more of like a back end developer this
You
time
did
around.
like all the data stuff, yeah. And then if there's like certain things, I'm like, hey Josh, can you look at this? Can you look at this?
Yeah.
A lot of collabing was on this project too, which I think is what made it fun as well. Cause like Tilly was over there brainstorming a lot, and then we were like collabing, iterating on the fly for it. There were a lot of like late night huddles of like working through this stuff and thinking through it.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question too. Is like, so how was this maybe just for you personally, and then I can share my perspective too. Like, how was this project maybe different from other projects that you've done at Laravel? So you kind of mentioned at the beginning, again, for
Mhm.
those just joining, we're talking about Laravel Wrapped and kind of like the behind the scenes of it. Leah does a lot of like the marketing sites. So you've done a lot of the marketing sites, pretty much
Mhm.
all of them this year for every single launch that we've had. How is this project different for you?
Ooh. It's like, in a sense, I feel like it was a little like less structured.
Yeah.
Not in this like in the sense that like whenever you have it for a big launch, right? For like Nightwatch or for the Forge, new generation of Forge one. Those are like really like they have PMs on those teams, which Cynthia added as RPM here. But for
Yeah.
those, they're like very structured out, you know, where it's like, okay, we need this done by this day and then this day, and then you have like a set thing to do and you just go do it. And I feel like designs for those normally are kind of finalized by a certain point.
Yeah.
Um, for
This
this one,
was
I just feel like it kind of morphed a lot in the process of us building it, you know? Like we got it, and then even whenever we got it, we were still like iterating on the design and like changing things about it as building
yeah.
it out. Um, and we almost had more freedom to put in like fun elements too because we got to make it zany, you know? So I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
to play around with more stuff than I normally would. Like we got to choose what we wanted to build it out with. We did React and Inertia. We got to add in like drag and drop and stuff, added like in some like on page load animations, and do some kind of cool things like the sticker cards that we're showing and how you like filter through them. I feel like we got to bring in more of the like fun kind of over the top elements because you're normally not going to put those on like all of our pages. Like we're not putting those on like the Laravel homepage.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what made this different. But also we collabed a lot. Like us internally, we collabed a lot because we owned this. This was like our project instead of me getting brought on to work
Mhm.
on a project for like another product team.
Yeah, it's probably one of the first. So technically, Leah and I work together in developer relations
Mhm.
here at Laravel. So DevRel. This would probably be one of the first bigger DevRel projects. I mean, like we kind of launched two in the same week. We had Laravel Advent as well as Laravel Wrapped, and so those are kind of like our two big first, almost solely DevRel kind of projects, or at least led by DevRel. And so I think that was the
Mhm.
fun part of it too. Was like. Kind of that fluidity that you mentioned. We kind of had this idea of, okay, this is what would be great. What can we actually add
Mhm.
realistically? And then also like, what can we make it fun as well too? Dennis, hey, glad to have you here in the chat. Everyone else just joining, glad to have you. Let us know where you're joining from. Favorite holiday drink? Because we're wearing it's Laravel Wrapped, so it's like seasonal, holiday. And then Pushback, glad to have you here. I heard building MCP was very simple. It was. We'll get to that in a little bit. But let me pull up like so if you ship that all on Laravel Cloud, Forge, or Nightwatch, you should receive your own personal link. I'll pull up my personal link, so that way I guess we're seeing my stats. But talk me through. I'll have you maybe talk me through, Leah. Like, what was the favorite thing that you implemented, like on this personal page, and then I can pull it up and look at it.
And it's probably worth saying too that the personal link would be in an email that was sent to you from Laravel. So if you check that email,
oh, sorry, go for it.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, if you check that email, if you did get it, if you click the CTA in the email, that will instantly lead you to your personal link to see this kind of landing page.
Yeah, and I guess that's a good point to bring out, like the reason why. So some of these stats, like there's nothing, there's nothing. What's the right word? There's nothing that is personal in these stats. Sensitive. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. There's nothing that's sensitive in these stats, but we definitely didn't want to have this. We wanted it to be sent in a way, and the reason why we sent it in email, and there's like a specific UUID that you have from a technical standpoint in order to see all of these stats specifically linked to your name, specifically to your email across any organization that you're a part of within Laravel Cloud, within Laravel Forge, or within Laravel Nightwatch. So if you use different emails, you might have received multiple links. If you use the same email, you probably have all of your stats on that one link. But we didn't want to leak any information to anyone, like if you didn't want your information shown. So the reason why we have it be a little bit more, I don't know, covered up in a way with UUID is mostly just so that you can see them, and then you can share whatever you want with others. And so I guess, what was your, there you go for it.
I'm so sorry. I was going to say also, if like you share this link and other people can go to it and see all of your data, they would also be able to change your OG card. If you hit that share button and it opens up the share modal, any changes they make to this, would then like be saved, and next time you go to it, you'd see it, which again, that's not breaking anything. There's nothing sensitive there, but that's another reason that we kind of kept the share link separate. And then the share link links to the homepage. That was our thinking behind it. Again, the UUID, there's nothing sensitive about that, but some people might not want other people to know their UUID, just things like that.
Exactly. And that was kind of like a way, like we one, so that we could ship this as quickly as possible, because that's kind of like the point of Laravel, and also like following in the footsteps of the timeliness of like Spotify Wrapped and everything like that. One, we didn't want it to be linked with an accounts, so that way you like there's a whole different advanced aspect of that if we want to link into specific accounts, and maybe that will be for future years, maybe not. So that's part of it, but then also so that you have the ability to share your own and customize your own while also being able to share it with others too.
I think you mentioned the date, and that's another thing that was unique about this project. It's like a lot of times in the past, if we were working on something and we're like, hey, we need like a little bit more time for it, we had that, we could like push back. It wasn't as sensitive. But this one was like, we wanted to have it around the same time as like Spotify Wrapped and all the other ones. So like there was no wiggle room.
Exactly. Shaza, glad to have you here. I'm Laravel developer, 2 years of experience in Pakistan. Glad to have you here. Christopher, eggnog punch is my favorite drink. Eggnog punch. I don't think I've had eggnog punch. It sounds good. Glad to have you here. Steven from DR Congo, glad to have you here. Hot fruit punch, says Miguel. So I have not had any of these drinks. I don't know if hot means like spicy or like alcohol in it, or maybe it's just like actual warm.
I'm thinking warm. It sounds good. I've never had warm
fruit punch.
Yeah.
Eric, I'm just starting to learn Laravel, and it's definitely a beginner-friendly framework. Easy to assimilate when having basic knowledge of PHP. Fantastic. That's what we love to hear, for sure. That's the reason why I got into Laravel, was because it was super easy for me to build projects like this. I couldn't imagine building something like this without Laravel. All those little things. There's so many artisan commands, and I can get into like some of the technical aspect from the data standpoint, but there's so many artisan commands that I built to make all of this happen that I don't know how I would do it in another framework, honestly.
I don't either. I don't think there's any way we would have built this as quickly as we did
Oh
to
yeah,
get this
100%.
done on time if we weren't using Laravel. And obviously, I'm very biased at this point.
Yeah.
But I agree that I agree that it's like something that's easy for beginners to pick up. Like I started with Mern, so MongoDB Express, React, and Node.
Okay.
And once I started doing Java and PHP for fun, or I started doing Java and Spring Boot for fun because I was like, I wanted something more structured on the back end than just Node.js.
Yeah.
But once I like learned about Laravel and PHP last year, I was like, no, I'm just going all in on Laravel because it's so much easier to like build stuff out with. And I don't have to worry about auth or anything like that because you can just use the beautiful starter kits and then deploy on cloud and it's live within what? Like 2
Seconds.
minutes? Like yeah.
Like some of even these stats are like, oh, this is how like we could get into the chat aspect. Well, Leah, tell me what was your favorite part to make on this page, and I can open up whatever you want to show.
Probably the share modal. I feel like
Sweet.
always the thing that was the hardest to build out is my favorite.
Is the fun part too.
Yeah.
I guess like you can like maybe I'll talk a little bit about I don't even necessarily remember, and then maybe you can help jog my memory. But I think we wanted a way for people to, because usually within Spotify Wrapped or like any other Wrapped, usually you just download or take a picture of something, or Spotify, of course, like has ways of sharing it like within their own app. But we wanted something a little bit different. And so we went with this OG image of being able to say, let's have the person customize their OG image and have this customized. It sounds really crazy when you think about it, but let's have the person customize their OG image as they're sharing their stats, even though others shouldn't see their stats when they click on that link, but they should see their stats in the OG image. So yeah, that's kind of like the background of why this share card came out. But what was the hardest part about building this? And then what was like the most fun part, even if it's the same thing?
So for the stickers, we're doing drag and drop. So that is using D&D kit for React. So implementing that, which like in itself wasn't like drag and drop was easier than I thought, but we were playing around with the idea of like scaling and rotating and stuff like that. So there was a lot of like worrying about offsets and different things and having to like worry about those calculations. Also like just like building out the themes. Like if you go to select the theme, we have these different themes. So we're like allowing, we're changing a lot of the elements on the card based on the theme. And this card that you see in the modal here was actually built out with React. So this is a React component. But then there's a blade template that we're using that creates the actual OG image to look like this. And that is using OG Kit, which was created by Peter Sum. Right?
It's ogkit.dev.
OG Kit.
Yeah, so created by Peter Sum from Tailwind. Yeah. And yeah, I guess a little bit more on that, which is that there's some pretty fun things that are kind of happening behind the scenes. It probably this was just a fun way to like figure out how to make this work. So like Leah built all of this modal, and then what I would do kind of behind the scenes within that Blade OG kit is basically anytime we make a change, you can see here if I change a theme, it's kind of saving, and it saves it to actual database, because then we take all of those configurations and we put them into Blade to then render anytime you use your OG image. And the cool thing is, this is kind of like a little bit of a hacky workaround, so hopefully Peter doesn't get too annoyed. But OG Kit basically renders your image when you share your link. But because we're doing a lot of database calculations behind the scenes for every single OG, I wanted it to be available so that way some social platforms don't show the OG if it takes too long to
With all
load.
the caching, which we ran
Yeah.
into with like Slack. I think
Yep.
Discord and Twitter probably does them too, but like Slack was like caching the first one and it was never updating.
Yep. And it was never updating. And then also, if we had to do too many, because every single one of these stats that you can change,
Mhm.
it has different, you have different, like it's a different database query that we're getting to make sure we have those stats for that individual. We're not just saying, oh, this person has this many and bring it in. It's actually from the database itself. And so what is actually happening behind the scenes is every single time that you change something, it's requesting, or actually when you click finish and share right here, so I'll finish and share this right now, it's actually requesting an OG image from OGKit. So that way it's ready to go for when you actually share it somewhere. So if I was to go to x.com and I was to share this right here, what's happening is, and I'll go ahead and like post it, we get that updated OG image that we just changed. But
Do
if I
you
was to
have
delete this,
do you
yeah, go
also
for it.
have the example from the one you posted earlier with that same link?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. So like, I was just gonna also like, if I was to change themes, maybe like move a sticker around, and then change stat to, let's go ahead and do like Nightwatch top percentile and Nightwatch events down here. Click finish and share. I'm gonna go back to x.com and share this. It's technically the same link. We're only pushing to the main homepage again because we just want to show your individual stats from the OG. But now it shows that new updated OG that we just created. No one probably cares about this, but it was fun for us to make in that sense. Like it was like a fun. I always keep going back to the wrong thing. It was like a fun ability to be able to say, hey, here's a little bit of customization that you can do. Refresh this. Here's a little bit of customization that you can do, but at the same time, we get to be able to have that ability of like making it instant. So a new OG image with those customizations is generated every single time you actually want to share it.
Because then you can have the different variations and you don't have to download it every time to show those.
Yeah.
Which like maybe you guys are just sharing your link once and not 50 million times like we are when we were testing it. But for like me, I feel like that was the fun part, is like being able to see the different one, the updated one every single time.
Every single time. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so if you played around with Laravel Wrapped maybe already, now you know that if you customize this and you share it again, you get to have a different that same image. So you can definitely just download it. But that was just our little, I don't know, artisan touch, if you will, behind it, I think. Leah, what like talk me through maybe like the UI choices that you and Tilly made specifically for this, where you like, this is a lot to customize in like one modal. Like we have like stat drop downs. I know this kind of went through a bunch of different iterations. You have drag and drop for stickers. What was like the thought process behind that?
So the original first iteration of it was the card at the top and then everything like below it. And we weren't doing these kind of like drop down little toggles to show the data. They were just like all full-fledged sections, which in that case on like laptop screens and stuff like that, you're cutting off a lot of stuff and you have to scroll to go through it. And then we were trying like drag and drop to like reorder the stats that you're seeing and stuff like that, as well as having drag and drop for the stickers. And then the stickers were at the very bottom of the modal. So it's like it was a long distance to drag for. So as like we were iterating, and Tilly was going over that and changing the design, because at first building it out, we didn't have the design for it yet. I just built something to give to Tilly, the designer, so that Tilly could kind of see what the interaction should be for this modal, and then come up with how it should look. And I do think what we ended up with is like more intuitive and like an easier interaction, such as like with the insert a sticker. that is right next to your card. So you're not having to drag it far, right?
Yeah,
And
it's just
it's
right
intuitive
there.
that you can drag it.
Yeah,
It's intuitive that it's drag and drop. And the pick your stat part, it's intuitive that whenever you're selecting it, the way we did it is checking that none of the stats that it's showing you to choose from are displayed, and it's only showing you stats you have data for, as well as ones that aren't already shown on the other cards. And then it, I think, makes it pretty simple to know, like the little icons next to it makes it simple to know which card you're updating
yeah,
that for. So I feel like these updates that like Tilly made and I implemented are ones that really made the UI for this easier.
yeah.
And that way also it's not taking up a lot of the space. So if you're opening this on a smaller screen, it still looks clean.
Yeah. Yeah, and for those, maybe you found the link in your email. Again, this is Laravel Wrapped. We just shipped this today, like literally an hour and a half ago, and it's your stats if you deploy it on Laravel Cloud, Forge, or Nightwatch. Your stats across all those applications, and you should see the link in your email. It's kind of like a CTA button that takes you to your individual stats page that you have this share modal to customize an OG image that you can either download or share it as a link to people. And you're not actually sharing your personalized link. You're sharing your OG image that links to Laravel Wrapped's landing page. But yeah, for those in the chat, Christopher says Laravel Wrapped was so cool. Great job. Loving the designs across the marketing sites this year too, Leah.
Thank you so much. Tilly, our like designer who does a lot of the marketing and brand stuff, is also absolutely amazing and has been cranking out the designs for like the Laracon site, this site, all the OG images, the images for the
Yep.
blog. Like if you see something that's like for general Laravel and you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's like 95% chances Tilly.
Yeah, the YouTube thumbnail that you might be watching this on. Yeah, and then so yeah, Tilly did everything for Laravel Wrapped for design. Leah implemented pretty much all the front end. I did a lot of the back end stuff, and then Jeremy, designer and developer extraordinaire for Nightwatch, did all of the homepage pretty much. The Laravel Wrap, the wrap.laravel.com homepage. Juan, just in mind, it's amazing. What a cool idea! Thanks so much, Juan. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Leah and myself were talking, and the whole team when we were launching, we're like, it's fun to see people like think it's cool in a lot of ways.
Yeah, people being excited about this, I feel like makes me even more excited. Like that's what's so unique about this project is just like it's something personal to the users, and so people are excited about it. And seeing that is just like, wow, we did that.
Yeah. Christopher, wow, to get the OG images to update that fast is actually very awesome. Yeah, it was definitely it was definitely one of those things that we knew when we came up with the idea of being able to customize it and have all this stuff. It's one thing to like do that and then download this image. It's another thing to like have that be an OG image, but then it's another thing to have it be an OG image that doesn't actually direct to the link that is on the OG. It directs to the homepage, but shows the OG that you most recently updated.
Why do one thing when you can do all the things?
Yeah, we can just make it super complicated. So
Yeah.
when we click finish and share, and we have this link, it's this wrapped, and you see my UUID. I don't care. I guess if you have my UUID, actually, I guess my UUID is not in the link. That was intentional. But we have this link that's like my wrapped, and then my name with a little bit of like a hash, and then a query param. And this query param, shout out to Hank on the Laravel team, is mostly so that anytime you post this to a social media platform, let's say LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, if you've already posted the link, like let's say you post it and then in the comments you're like, I just changed my OG, and you share the link again. Well, if I didn't have this, Twitter, X, LinkedIn would just take the same link because they already have it. They're just caching that OG image. This kind of breaks it. So that's a way to do it. But basically this link doesn't direct to this page that I'm on. It directs to the home page. And that's a little bit of like middleware magic behind the scenes where we're telling any bots or social media platforms that want OG images. Hey, grab the OG image from this link, but redirect any actual users to the homepage.
Which just also reminds me, part of the thinking behind that too is if you're like, so your data shows your data across all of your orgs. So maybe it
Yep.
shows like whenever it's like, hey, the site you shipped on the most or you deployed on the most was this site. Like maybe that's something that's not public yet and you can't share that.
Yeah.
You don't want people to see that. That was the thinking behind having your share link linked to the homepage. That way, like you're only sharing the link that shows all your data, like if you link your own personal link, which would be like you're making that decision to do it to allow
Yeah.
people to see your data, but we're not just like sharing all that data with everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Regardless.
Because like you might be, for example, there's a lot of people who ship on Laravel Cloud and Laravel Forge and maybe even Nightwatch who you are a agency or you work in an agency, and maybe you ship for a lot of different clients. You don't necessarily want those client stats or maybe even like their website domain or stuff like that shown to everyone, but
Like for the top site there.
Yep, exactly.
Because it would show there.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't want like that. You might not want that visible to everyone, or you might not like where was a fun one? I guess 10 p.m. on a Tuesday is when I usually ship the most with Laravel Forge. I had this was a fun one to me. I'll talk a little bit about this, and then maybe Lee, you can tell me. Then we can talk maybe through like how we picked the specific stats. But someone had a question. WoW stats across each application. Yep, so it is. So we basically, it is a lot of different stats from Forge, a lot of different stats from Cloud, probably more from Cloud than Forge. And then any events that you tracked within Laravel Nightwatch, as long as you had the same email across all applications. So we basically did it via email and not necessarily account, because your email is your account. So if you had the same email for Cloud and Forge or Forge and Nightwatch, you would see all of that on this one page.
Also,
But
can you show off the
yeah.
sticker thing?
Yeah.
You finish with the data, but
okay. I'll do midnight deploys and then you talk about the sticker.
okay.
We wanted a fun little stat of like how much you maybe shipped between midnight and 4 a.m. And this is a little different because again, you're seeing your UUID, you're in your personal link that you're then getting to your email inbox and clicking on. We don't store in Laravel Cloud like your local time zone. There's no reason for us to do that. And so what we did is we grabbed basically all of the hours that you made a deploy in Laravel Cloud in UTC. And then when you load this page, so if someone else was to load this page in a different time zone, you would probably see a different number because it's grabbing all the UTC and then saying, okay, based off of that UTC, how many times did you ship between midnight and 4 a.m.? And so 144 times out of my, what was my total?
Where's the total number?
I think we just have total. Oh yeah, there.
Oh, cool.
1,069.
The funny part of your time zone calculation, wow, is that whenever I was like testing and we would use like Florians or different coworkers that are in like Europe or somewhere else, and I'm checking like for nighttime for me, so like 2 a.m. my time, it's probably like daytime for them. So it's like they have like 2,000 deploys at midnight.
2,000 deploys at midnight.
Yeah.
Tell us about the stickers, specifically like. One, it's kind of bringing it back from the homepage, and then what was the thought process behind this? And also, they're really beautiful.
Oh, hi, Florian. Yeah, always shipping, but I don't know quite if you're doing 2,000 commits at midnight.
You'll have to share us your stats, Florian, like of how many midnight deploys you actually had,
and your actual time zone. Yeah,
your actual time zone.
Yeah, so the thinking about the stickers is we have this grid layout with the cards. They are kind of staggered too, where like it's not like where the rows start the same each time. Like you see, like it's mainly based on the column. So we already had that funness, but the rest of the cards are just kind of like white with like maybe an illustration on them or some text or values. And the stickers kind of break that up. So it brings in the pops of color from the homepage as well as the sticker element so that we don't just have the stickers on the homepage and in the customize your OG. And then just like I feel like making the stickers was a really fun part too, like probably for like Tilly and Jeremy, and like for me just seeing them's fun. So getting to add that in. And then Tilly gave these to me with the dot grid already behind it. So that kind
Yeah.
of like dot matrix you see, which allows it like blends in with the rest of the cards that we have. But then allows the stickers to kind of pop. So
Yeah, I love that, and I also love like it's one of those things that you have like that fun little interaction that you can
mhm,
do while also still keeping it, I don't know, still keeping it professional, if you will. Like you're seeing all
mhm.
these stats that can be fun, but it's fun to also just click around and,
Like,
and
it's
do
still
things too.
clean, but this almost makes it, you know how, like, you'd put stickers, like, on your notebook or,
Yeah,
like, on your locker? It makes it feel like that. It's like, this is my, like, own personal page, and I can even customize what stickers are showing there. Like, yeah, we only have
yeah,
them in the 2 spots. It's not drag and drop, but you're still getting some of that customization there.
yeah. You get to see what you're looking at
Mhm,
even as you scroll. Or read everything because there's a lot on here. I guess when it comes to stats, what was your like favorite one, or like I guess how do you, because I know you were in some of those conversations of like, okay, what do we actually want, like what do people get excited about
mhm.
when you see stats? Like this is stats about deploying code. So it's not as fun maybe as listening to your top artists thousands of times in a row, but what was there? How did that conversation go?
I feel like probably some of my ideas were a little off the wall. Um, but I feel like we really got creative with like the AI messages. So we were like,
Yeah,
what would be fun to show? And I always like the really zany ones that Spotify gives you, where it's like you're a pop, like you're a what is it? It's like a pink
like,
glitter
yeah,
princess
you're in
mood,
your
or
pink pop area kind of.
yeah, it, like, gives you really, like, funny ones, and you're just like it feels unique to you.
Yeah,
So, we're trying to think, how could we use, Laravel Boost to kind of use the data we have and we're displaying to kind of give something that's fun like that. And like also we got to brainstorm like how can we tie that into the community?
mm,
So talking about like Lambos, like okay, you committed like we're thinking how could we use certain values we have to compare to like how many Lambos you would have or like different things. I also think the commit words is kind of fun because for the commit words um mine were like added, updated, and form. So you could tell I worked on a lot
form.
of
Wow, you
forms
build a lot of forms then. Yeah,
because I built all the marketing pages and they all had HubSpot forms. So a lot of forms, a lot of updates.
that makes
I
sense.
also, yeah, the one we did where it's like you used whip so many times.
Yeah.
Like Taylor would be proud. That one was fun. Also cloud deployments, which might not seem fun, but it told me that I've deployed 133 times, and my top deployed app was Nightwatch marketing site.
There
Which
you
is
go.
funny because this isn't mine tied to the org, right? This is
Yeah.
my personal one. So that's from whenever I had
When you're like
cloned the
testing it out.
repository and
Yeah.
was testing it. So it's like just shows how much I worked on the Nightwatch site, which I thought was like really funny. Just like a retrospective to like see that. And it's like, oh yeah, I did deploy a lot before we shipped it.
Yeah. I don't know what happened in September, but I deployed 210 times to cloud in September. Like that's a lot of my 1,069 this whole year.
You were locked
Um,
in.
but
Mine
yeah,
was
talk.
May.
Okay, you did May.
Yeah.
Talking about like the AI stuff, this was again fun for us because so even, and you'll see this even on like the Spotify Wrapped and stuff like that. Again, hey everyone in the chat, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Laravel Wrapped that just launched today. You might be able to see it in your email if you deployed at anything from Cloud, Forge, or Nightwatch. Of course, you can check out the homepage as well, and there might be some people sharing their own OG images. But this whole page is customizable to share the OG that then links people to the Laravel Wrapped landing page. Yeah, Tuna Han from Turkey, glad to have you here. And Samuel, have a good night. Or I guess you're joining us. So good night. I apologize. I do not know that flag name. So you'll have to let me know.
I'm so bad with flags.
Yeah, I don't want to guess and it be completely different, so I apologize. But yeah, I think so. One of the things that we wanted to do with AI, kind of like Leah was saying, is when you have all these stats, usually they're programmatic. You can't have
Mhm.
too much flexibility because it's like, okay, if you're 5%, then let's say this. If you're less than 5%, let's say this. If you're a developer in the chat, we know that. Like, you can't just be like, oh, if you're 5, I guess you could like randomize it, have a list of things. And we did have some of that for that.
But
But
even
we,
then, you have like limitations
yep,
where if you're randomizing it, like we're either like building out a ton of the different options and even like randomizing it's not 100% fair each time. But then it's like a lot of people are going to have the same one, so it's not as fun
yep.
to share it.
It's not fun because or it's not fun to like to take screenshots and share because it's just stats that
Mhm.
have a little bit of quirky wording. And so we kind of opted for like, hey, let's just show the stats. But then with AI, every single person who opens up their thing, like you have different AI messages about different things. We basically were able to say, hey, here's all of these specific stats. Let's pick some fun ones. Like this one is like this doesn't work as well, like, but it's like negative. I joined Cloud negative 94 days before it launched.
What an early
I
adapter.
know. Sorry.
It's like funny because like obviously you got access because you worked at Laravel. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just like it's like you broke into the system and got access.
Yeah. But it was fun to be able to like generate all of these because it's even, as we were testing it out, because AI can be flaky and unpredictable. But for
Mhm.
messages like this, it's okay to be flaky and unpredictable because it's okay to be like fun and zany.
Yeah, and goofy because it's like what you don't like is sometimes you want AI to give you something, it gives you a message, and you're like, "That sounds so crazy," but like you
Yeah.
almost want that, because
Yep.
that makes it fun for this. And I feel like another thing is when building this out, we would like screenshot these and send them to each other, or like we'd like see them and it's like, "Oh, that's fun." It's like
Yep.
when building it, we saw them, and it was kind of that element that's like, "Oh, this is fun." Like I like doing that. Same with like customizing the OG, and that's why we decided to really like lock in on like polishing those and getting those with this shipped version, because if it's fun for us, it's going to be fun for other people, and that's what we wanted with the site.
Yeah, exactly. And we of course like had guidelines for all these ad messages in the
Yeah.
sense of it's like, hey, we want, if you can if it makes sense to mention something like Coke Zero because you stayed up late so many times, or if it makes sense to mention Lambos if like you're shipping a lot, or it makes sense to mention Whip because that's something that
Hmm.
was popularized by Taylor, or just something that Taylor does a lot. It makes sense to mention being locked in or something like that because
Hmm.
it's popular right now. So all of those things help be able to kind of shape a lot of these AI messages as well. Yeah, we could ask about this. Cyril says, "What made the download button break? We fixed it."
We did, and I tagged him, and he said he checked it, and it did fix it.
Sweet.
So whenever you hit download, or first when you're seeing this little OG card here in the share modal, that is a React component. So like that's code. Whenever you hit the download button, it's converting it to an image, and it's using a package called HTML to image. And there was a bug with the package that was breaking it on. It's something to do with their styles, and it was breaking it for
Firefox.
Firefox and maybe somewhere else. I know it's Firefox. I was working on Safari and Chrome. And what the fix was downgrading to, was it version like 1.1?
Yeah, 1.1. It was like two. It was like one version lower or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I fixed it.
So a really weird bug that at least we can for sure say was not our fault
Yeah.
for that one.
But yeah, Anthony, glad to see you here. Hello to you too. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Yeah, I guess what's something else, and then we can I can talk about kind of like AI and MCP, but what's something else that kind of comes to mind, Leah, when you're building this out?
A lot of the things, like I said, like when building it out, was maybe we didn't have a design for it first, and
Yeah.
like with the share modal. And so then Tilly would ask like, hey, what would this look like? Which a lot of times I feel like that could be hard, like for a like front end developer or someone to be like, okay, what should this look like, or what should it be when you don't have guidelines? Um, but a lot of it was just like building it out, like getting to think of like what do we need here, what makes sense for interactions, building it out, then sending it to her, and then the design being based on that, like a polished version, and then
Yeah.
implementing it. And I feel like there was something else, but
Yeah, that's a good point to make too, because it's very much like it's a developer driven launch that still
Mhm,
needs a design polish. And so a lot of how
mhm.
we were kind of building it was very early. Hey, this is like literally it was me putting all the stats in just like their own div on the page. And I was like, hey, here's everything that we got. How do we make this pretty? And then
Because this
Leah
is
and
our
Tilly kind of took
first
off.
this is our first ever Wrapped, right?
Yeah.
So we had nothing to build inspo from, and there's no, I mean, maybe there is, but like that we were thinking of, we couldn't think of like another one similar to this, like showing programming stats similar,
Yeah.
like for cloud or different
Specifically
things.
for deploys and
Yeah.
specific stats about I outshipped 1 in 6 Forge users
Mhm.
because I was top 81% in Forge deployments. Those kind of things.
So it was a lot of like pulling inspo from like Spotify or like YouTube's, or there was even a Google one. Like a lot of it was like going and finding other wraps and looking for inspo. Like inspo is in like what made theirs fun, like what is a good idea, and then from there, when we were displaying our data, it's just like Josh said, just like starting somewhere with displaying it, and then like I started somewhere with the share modal, and then iterating from there, because right off the bat we weren't sure like how should this look, because
Yeah,
there wasn't really anything to base it off of for like our stats that we were showing.
exactly. Just as a fun one before I start talking about AI and MCP, but curious, maybe Florian in the chat would probably be the
Mhm.
only one who can beat me. I'm in top 2% of cloud deployers. I'm still only number 308. So there's still not even just Laravel employees. There's a lot of people ahead of me of all
I
cloud users.
think I think
Florian's like number
Florian's
1, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his might even say he's number 0.
Yeah,
He's
he's
ground
top
0.
0%. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it does say you were number 1 for all of his. I wonder if Florian beat me for deployment streak though.
Where does it say? Which card is it in?
For deployment streak or
Or
your
no,
ranking?
for the what number you are.
Your ranking.
Oh,
Oh,
mine doesn't say.
here it doesn't say it. I think I only gave it numbers under
Like top
under
100.
500, I think.
Okay.
Then it
Yeah.
shows. Yeah, or maybe it's top 1,000.
Yeah. I was
Whatever that
early access, but I wasn't that early.
You're not negative 94 days.
I how what did I have an AI message about it? I was early.
Yeah. See,
Early adopter. Yeah, it doesn't say negative anything. I first deployed on December 9th of last year.
okay. December 9th. So yeah, I guess that we launched in like February. So you're still like 2 months. 2
Mhm.
months earlier. Um
54 days, Florian. Oh my gosh.
54 days in a row. I guess Florian just
shipping.
really doesn't sleep. It's
I was 5. I was 5 days.
to be fair, not discounting Florian's achievements, but to be fair, it does calculate for all of the organizations you're a part of. So if someone on your organization has shipped in days in a row, you will receive that stat for
And
example.
mine's my personal one. This is your
Yeah.
personal one too, right?
This is my personal one. Yeah.
Like not tied to the Laravel org.
No.
Yeah.
Not type to Laravel org. Let's talk AI and MCP. So we kind of talked AI images. So every individual user's page has AI or AI stats generated.
Mm-hmm.
But then one of the things, and this was again, Leah talked about like how this whole project was very fluid in the sense of like we're like, hey, that sounds like that could be a good idea. Let's try it. Let's figure it out. But for Wrapped, it was one of those things where like, hey, maybe we can just add additional elements to make it exciting, engaging, but then also fun. And this chat box with MCP was one of my favorite ones. Mostly because one, it was incredibly easy to actually add. Like the hardest part probably was the implementing the design aspect of it.
Mhm.
It was incredibly easy to add, mostly because Laravel MCP gives us a lot of stuff behind the scenes of this chat box is technically using MCP tooling to make sure we call the UUID to only grab those specific stats. So if I was to ask it, for example, in this chat, how many deploys did Taylor Otwell have? Then it's going to be like, well, actually, because I'm a part of the Laravel Cloud organization. That's why. But I forgot about that. This one I have joined the Laravel Cloud organization now.
Okay.
But the whole progress of like this particular chat application is being able to kind of have these ability to talk to specific stats that you're seeing. So if I was like, say, what was my first commit message, it would say, yeah, add S3 file system. So you're getting all these stats that you might be seeing on this particular ranking, but you also have the ability now to like actually chat through it too, or like see those particular stats. And then the MCP is being able to grab that particular UUID URL as well. So if I was to grab this into Claude, I could, chat with my stats there. There's probably nothing too crazy that you can do with it. Again, all of this is just read-only information that you're seeing. It's nothing proprietary, nothing sensitive or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of it was just one for the fun aspect of being able to have something like this, being able to, say, let's see, how many new applications did I deploy on Laravel Cloud? And we'll see, I deployed 81 new applications. Let's see, what was the average deploy time? And this is because of how good Florian and his team is at making it fast. 63 seconds. How many times did I have to cancel deploys? Let's see. Oh, 17 deploys. I'm still doing great with a high success rate of 88%. No, but the cool thing is being able to have this information is being able to just one, iterate more dependently on what Laravel has to offer in terms of a lot of this was built, again, all of this whole page is inertia, React. A lot of this is built within like the use stream hooks to be able to stream information in. But then with MCP, it's just as simple as adding specific tools that we need to call. So specific tools of calling like that UUID that you have to grab those stats, but then also any specific prompts that we might have as well. And so if you haven't checked out MCP, be sure to do it. It's really crazy how much you can do with how little code. So Lee, have you been able to work with like any of the like the use stream stuff or Laravel MCP yet?
Not as much. I haven't used it as much. I do want to play around with it. I have played around with some of the Prism. Is it Prism that TJ built out before we launched like Boost or MCP? I've been using Boost like within my projects to like help with the development aspect, and that's been amazing. So I use that a lot. I especially like how it can check your like browser logs, which is super helpful for front end development. Like I was talking to someone about that at Laracon AU, and they're like, "Oh, I haven't really thought of that because I don't use a lot with the front end." But if you're working primarily on the front end, Boost is so helpful for that reason, and just in general. But like the browser logs are amazing. I want to play around with MCP more in a personal project though. After like seeing this that you build out and like you saying it's easy. I've like seen all the demos for it, but I haven't gotten to play around with it that much.
Yeah. I think like it's one of those things where like this in the grand scheme of things like doesn't matter. Like being able to share your stats is like the biggest win of Laravel Wrapped. But I think being able to have something else that one might keep you on the page, two might being able to like talk about it a little bit more was really fun. really fun to build out as well. But I guess we'll go before we wrap up, no pun intended.
Wrap up the wrapped, unwrapped.
Wrap up the unwrapped of Laravel Wrapped. What was, I'll say, my absolute favorite thing to either make or just use? And then you can say yours as well.
Okay.
Hello from Brazil, Laravel's best framework ever. Hello, Victor. Glad to have you here.
We agree. We're very biased, but we agree.
Yeah, biased, but agree. And Florian joined Cloud 108 days before launch. So he has me beat only by 11 days. So
you were like definitely early adopter.
I was close. I was closer too. Jason, glad to have you here. How are you? How was your Laravel Wrapped?
He posted some of it.
Oh yeah, I did see some of it. Leah, what was your absolute favorite thing to either implement / build or just favorite thing about the whole project? You can have favorites in the sense of it can be something you did.
Man, it's hard. You go first.
I think I'll go ahead and stop closing my stream. I think my absolute favorite was definitely the OG kit, in the sense of being able to take what, the whole customization, because I think when you think of OG images, you don't think customizable dynamic.
No.
I think you think dynamic in the sense of, I don't know, this particular page is Josh's page, so it should have Josh's name in the
like
OG.
what we do with the blog, where it's we have the OG set, but for each blog article, we're setting the OG dynamic, it to be dynamic for that specific article. But like you said, you're not thinking of I think a lot of people might not know you can create OGs from code, that Peter created that OG kit.
Yep.
And it's just especially with the stickers, it's I can drag and drop a sticker somewhere, and then that would be in my OG card. That feels mind blowing to me.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part to implement. And again, shout out to I'll put it in the chat as well. So if you have not checked out ogkit.dev, that is what we are using. Again, this whole project was built on Laravel, of course, React, Inertia, Tailwind. Peter, who built OG Kit, actually works on the Tailwind team.
We use D&D Kit for the drag and drop stuff.
Yep.
CSS animations, I don't think we really brought in packages there. I know. I gotta look at more.
Maybe a couple. We use the HTML to image on the OG Kit download.
For download.
Or not OG Kit, but a shareable OG download. And then we do use, I believe, the OpenAI PHP package. And we haven't specifically talked about it, but we're hoping to maybe open source this whole project in the sense of you being able to see, how this is built. We'll probably be able to make a lot of more videos on the specific aspects of it, because it was a lot of fun to build specifically from, all the little UI elements, but then also all the back end data stuff of, okay, how are we calculating all this? How are we storing it? How are we, configuring it? And then I guess Laravel MCP too for.
Yeah, that would be a good one. I think it would also be fun to do a, even adding to it. I'm sure it won't be on the live one, but doing how could we bring in motion or different things to add more animation to the page?
Yeah.
Just doing more videos and tutorials about it, because I feel like this project was just really fun to work on and build out.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think that was, I think, my favorite part was going from an idea of we should make people customize their OG images to not only that, because that probably is easier, you could customize it, but then have the ability to you could customize it 20 different times and have 20 different OG images for theoretically the same link. That was really fun for me to just see the amount of these links that I've sent to Leah and the team in the last 48 hours has probably been over 50 for sure.
That's what I
Just
mean.
like,
Like I know other people might just share it once. We, no joke, have like done it about 50 million times. And
yeah.
like
So it does
generating random
work.
URLs to like test it. Like, okay, what does this look like if someone, because that was another part of building it out,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
You
Go for
could
it.
build it out with yours, and
Yep.
then it's like, okay, this is how my data is going to look. If you like, say I never deployed with Forge this year, then I'm not going to see certain cards. And then also, like, if someone hasn't really used, because there's cases where some people might have only used Nightwatch, but they haven't used Cloud or Forge. There's cases where people only use Cloud, cases where they only use Forge, and that's going to change how like
Hmm.
stuff populates on the OG card and how stuff looks on the layout. So having to like generate with other links and like testing it on all this data to see how it's going to look and be like, okay, if someone only used Nightwatch, then they only have like one stat card that shows up on the landing page. And for the OG card, only two stats are showing. How do we handle that? And like making sure to deal with all these edge cases was something fun, but also challenging
Yeah.
for this one. So we've sent, I like no joke, I probably sent like 2,000 links with testing it and like testing, okay, this person's data, and then this like how is this gonna populate and look?
Yep. Yeah. I think that was like the fun part of it too, is
Mm-hmm.
um like being able to have all of this. It's, of course, it works great for your, like, kind of like you said, your stats that you have, but then you also have to think about, okay, kind of like, from your perspective, Leah, and then Tilly's perspective is like, okay, I might only have 100,000 Night Watch events tracked. Some
Mm-hmm.
other people might have millions, if not billions, of events tracked. And so, how do we, from a programmatic standpoint, make sure we capture all edge cases? And we
Yeah.
might not have got
On the
all of them.
cards and
Yeah,
within the OG, like so within the cards, like on the actual layout, but also within the shareable OG, like how do we display those without it like overflowing and yeah.
yeah, exactly. So, what was your favorite part, Leah? You might have kind of already said it in between all that, but
It was the OG. It was like the editor and like the
the
share
editor,
modal and
yeah,
being able to do all of that. I didn't know if that was like felt basic to say since like I've already
yeah,
said it, but I feel like that part was just like the funnest because again, it was the most challenging. But once we have it set up, I feel like that's like a really cool part of this site. And of course, like the whole homepage is really cool too, like with the stickers with that. Um, but Jeremy built all of that out and designed it. But like the share modal was I think the funnest part building it out for me and like seeing it. I keep playing around with the share modal. Like I keep going back and wanting to like drag and drop stickers and do it because I'm like in shock that we pulled that whole thing off.
yeah, exactly. So, what was the biggest challenge in the design? Maybe to implement, but or just to, like, as you kind of like going back and forth with Tilly of like, hey, this is how it should work.
Mhm.
How do we make this nicer?
You're never gonna believe it. Probably the share modal because I just said it was the hardest part. Um, I think the share modal just because like at first, Tilly like she was like, okay, I need an example of this, like so she could picture it. So I had to go build something out, and then we were thinking, let's add drag and drop, and we didn't really have a design or know how it should look, right? So when I implemented drag and drop and I was doing things, we started trying to add in different things. They were like, what if you could scale and rotate the stickers and stuff? Um, and then it was like, okay, but now I have to worry about offset and I have to worry about these like all these different things and like trying to nail down and get the drag and drop stuff where like is as close to dropping where your mouse is as possible. Like there was a lot of little like technicalities and stuff to think about with that. And then I feel like we had a big shift kind of from the first implementation to the second implementation of the OG, like how the OG card looks and the share
Yeah,
mode. Um, like a day or two pre-launch. So trying to nail down that and like shit because my first implementation had the functionality, but it was like different functionality than what you see. Like the drag and drop was there, but we've like refined a lot. But the how the OG card looks changed a lot. And it was like, okay, I have this already. Now how do I change the layout and stuff to show the design and get that to work on like to be responsive and work on other
Yeah.
devices without breaking the structure of the OG card? And then how do we take from the React component OG card you see in the share modal that to Josh then implement it for the OG card blade template that is being rendered as the actual OG. I just said OG so many times, but that kind of
Uh,
shows how much thinking and process had to go into just that part.
yeah. And I think that, it's one of those things where it's probably the thing that we could, I feel like we spent most of the time today talking about, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that like, we could like make a whole bunch of videos about because there's so many fun things that we probably learned about
Mhm.
OG images that we didn't know before. But then also, I think it's one of those things that it makes, well, I think it makes Laravel Wrapped the most unique in a lot of ways.
I agree. It's like, so I really enjoyed building out the Nightwatch marketing site, but I feel like this might be the funnest project I've worked
Yeah,
on this year out of 6
for
sites.
sure.
This is my 6th site now in like 8 months.
Specifically, the data piece for me was a lot of fun to work on because it wasn't just so just for those still watching, all of this is not being pulled on the fly. So this is not data that's like, oh, I'm gonna deploy and I'll see my number go up. It is not. This was all basically downloaded and scraped last week, and then we're using that like in its own separate thing. So it's not hitting any API or anything like that. So that was fun to, one, figure out the best way of like, okay, what pieces of information do we actually need? Two, it's difficult because each product of ours has different ways of how we're saving data in terms of emails that are specific to organizations, or if you deployed on Forge or someone on your team deployed, or did you push a GitHub commit? That doesn't necessarily mean you deploy. We don't necessarily know if that was you or someone else. It's stuff like that that was fun to kind of think through in a lot of ways. So like, okay, and maybe we made the right choices in some, maybe we didn't. But I think it was a fun learning process for sure to be able
And
to
you were
grab
getting
all
like,
that information.
you're getting things thrown at you because we were like, can we tell when, like, if they ship at night? Like, can we tell that?
Right.
And you're like, let me go look at the data and
Let's
see.
see.
Because, like, yeah, because, like, obviously midnight deploys isn't a stat. So you to, like, look at what stat you could use to get that, which I feel like had to have been fun. And I know there was, like, one time, Josh, you messaged me and you were like, hey, can you, like, look at, like, you're saying something like, can I look at like whatever on the page because you had just been looking at the stats for so long. It's like the numbers were just like
I was like,
in your brain.
this is just words at this point. Jason, you're saying so it kind of a whole team project. So Cynthia helped kind of like manage and direct it. We had Sam doing a lot of like email work. Tilly did almost all of the design except for maybe the homepage. Homepage was Jeremy from the Nightwatch team. And then Leah implemented pretty much front end for everything, and then I did back end. Data. I feel like I can call myself a back end developer right now.
Oh, you 100% can. Tilly also did the design for the beautiful email you saw this morning too.
It's a gorgeous song. Last question. Jason, what were some metrics you thought about considering? It's one of those things that like I feel like technically, and that's one of the reasons why the AI chat and the MCP exist, because there was so much that we wanted to, it's like, oh, this could be valuable for some people in the sense of like, high numbers or fun to show. But for some people it wasn't. So we tried to go as broad as possible for like, I think technically we have 6 stats for Laravel Cloud, 4 for Laravel Forge, 1 for Nightwatch on every single page.
Kind of 2 for Nightwatch. One shows up on the so only one is displayed in a card on the actual page, but in the OG it would also show you your percentage.
Percentile.
Yeah.
Yep. Good point. Yeah. And so there's more stats than are available on the page technically. We didn't grab everything, of course, but things of like deployment speed is not shown on the page, but it's used for AI messages. It's used for like the chat. So that was fun to think about. But yeah, I think the biggest thing when we were considering metrics was, one, what's actually fun, and two, is it big enough for people? So if you've deployed more than 10 times on Laravel Cloud or more than 10 times on Laravel Forge, is it fun to see, your commit messages? Is it fun to see what time you generally deploy in that sense. So
Which
it was
also
kind of,
reminds me, we had to think of the cutoff too.
that's a good point too. Yep. Of
We had to
like,
think of a lot of stuff with this project.
yeah, this is a data project that
Mhm.
also is and a front end project too at the same time.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then
Sweet, Leah. Anything else that comes to mind that you wanted to share?
I don't think so. I feel like we hit all of them. Just look at your Laravel wrap. Check your email to see if you have an email. If you deployed at least 10 times on Laravel Cloud or Forge, or if you use Nightwatch to monitor any events, you should see a email in your email account. If you click the CTA in that email, it'll take you to your personalized wrapped landing page, which is like what Josh showed during the stream. And yeah, customize your OG card, share the link. Feel free to tag me. I would love seeing like people's different wrapped because I had so much fun building this out. And I'm so glad everyone enjoyed wrapped and we've gotten some great feedback about it so far because it's been really exciting seeing that.
Yeah. That would be my last party messages. If you did get the wrapped link, play around with the obviously we talked about OGs a lot, so play around with OG. Maybe share it like 5, 10, 20 different times, because that was one of our favorite parts to build out, is the actual, hey, make it yours, and then make it yours again, and then make it yours again. That's not just for us saying, hey, we want everyone to see this. It's really just, we want you to have fun with it. But the two, if you didn't get a link, make sure to sign up for Laravel Cloud, and you can start tracking your stats today, even though we'll probably only take 2026 stats next year. So start tracking your start signing up for Laravel Cloud today, start deploying so that in 2026 you're ready to have 2026 Laravel Wrapped stats.
Yes, because we will be going bigger and better next year.
I'm like I'm excited, but I'm also a little scared.
As long as I have like a month or two in advance, I think we can lock in and do it. But I was like, please just give me the design by like August.
The good thing is we've already done it once now. So
Yeah.
like we're ready for next year. So I guess that's a good question too. For those, if you're still watching, again, thanks so much for watching. We're going to wrap up this unwrapped Laravel Wrapped session. But let us know maybe like on Twitter, Discord, or just in the comments or YouTube comments, LinkedIn comments, whatever that might be. Let us know like what would you like to see next year? And then also let us know, what's your favorite thing about
Yes.
Laravel Wrapped too?
Like maybe favorite interactivity.
Okay,
And then like just favorite element on it. Like maybe fave stat, or like if you really like the stickers. I would love like any insight into what people enjoy about it.
Absolutely. Jason says last one, then we'll sign off. Full first person walkthrough game of stats. Ooh, okay. Well, let's start now.
No, thank you.
Maybe there'll be a lot of improvements from that front in the technology world.
I think there will be a lot of I think there'll be a lot more animation next year. Like I would love to do more animation and like bring in motion, like Motion Plus and stuff.
Yeah. I think that was what a lot of like the other ones like YouTube and Spotify that I saw kind of really leaned into, is like, things are falling all over the place and splashing, and then you finally see your final stat. Like some of those like full, not videos, but almost like a video in the sense, or you see your stat at the end of it. That would
like
be
a presentation.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's it for unwrapping Laravel Wrapped, I should say. Thanks so much, Leah, for being here, and thank you everyone in the chat for joining. Go check out your email. If you didn't get it, sign up for Laravel Cloud. But we'll see you next time. Hopefully, y'all have a great day.